Hey y'all, Stacy here. Really excited to be doing a warmer watch with you on the new Seashell Element Warmer. Now, this is just the process that I take my personal warmers through to make sure that I'm completely satisfied with them in the 30-day warranty that Scentsy offers. This is in no way a scientific process, and there's no guarantee that this is the way that your warmer, should you purchase one, should or will work this way. This is just the paces that I like to put my personal warmers through, and I'm taking you along for the journey. Now, I'm first going to take a look at the aesthetic components of this warmer, and I do think it is so beautiful. It definitely gives the vibe of a seashell, but it's very important to me on detailed warmers like this that I just slow myself down and I look for any chips, dings, or imperfections because, if there are any that exist that you might look past on a pattern like this, I want to go ahead and get it swapped out and returned. I haven't found any here on this one as of yet. You can see we're passing that indicator light here. This is a 9-watt element warmer, and so when it's on, that indicator light will come on. Now, having checked kind of for any paint defects or chips, I am just going to check to make sure that the toggle switch for this 9-watt element warmer does work. The indicator light comes on, and I'm going to take this through the same process that I take all my new warmers through, which is I am going to time lapse watch 1 cube of wax melt in this warmer. Now, for this particular warmer watch, I'm going to be using the Cinderella bar that came with my Cinderella warmer. This is a very floral leaning bar. It's got forget-me-not, gardenia, and I think it lists with like maybe lemon or lime. I'll put the scent notes up for you to see. But as I recall, this is a powerhouse, and I only typically use 1 cube of this at a time. It's a strong performer, in my opinion, so I'm excited to see how this warmer does with it. Now, once I drop the cube in, I am going to be walking away. Let me just make sure I've turned the warmer back on after having turned it off and on. So I have. Now I am going to walk away and rejoin you in voiceover in just a moment. And I'm back. I told you that'd be fast. Now, this is the time lapse video, so I have joined you from the future. I already know how everything goes, and I'm just walking you through the process and the experience of this wax melting. Now, the reason that I do this and kind of how I do this is I set my phone to time lapse to record the cube of wax melting, but I do walk away from the wax melt. I don't just stand around waiting to see how long it takes. I set a timer so that I can have an idea of how long it is, and then you can see a representation of that timer in the lower left of your screen there. That is real time. It's reflecting how many minutes have actually gone by. So, like right now, we are just about at 4.5 minutes, closing in on 5 minutes pretty quickly, and we've only been watching for, I think, under a minute. I'm not sure how long we've been watching. But this gives you an idea of time lapse without having to sit around for the potentially up to 30 minutes and maybe even more that it might take for some warmers to melt wax. Now, most of my warmers do come in under 30 minutes. And I don't particularly care as long as they melt a clear wax pool. Like I don't have any unmelted edges in the warmer dish, and I feel like it's throwing the wax in a reasonable way. That's what I'm looking for. I just do think having kind of a measure of how fast provides me with a frame of reference because all warmers perform differently. I tend to find that bulb warmers take a little bit longer to warm up, and element warmers warm up a little bit faster. Faster to melt does not necessarily mean anything about the throw. In my experience, a cube of wax doesn't need to be fully melted to start throwing fragrance and throwing fragrance well. And with this beast of a performer, which I was 100% correct, this is a very strong fragrance. It started throwing almost immediately, and this did leave the room. This was in this enclosed living space where I record this, and it wafted down the hallway, and I could smell traces of it into the adjoining room. So this is a strong performer. I do think it is an exceptional performer, and that is reflective of the wax melt, not the warmer in this case. I don't think this is a bad performer by any stretch of the imagination. I do think it is a little bit slower amongst the element warmers that I have to come to temperature, but I think its temperature, it definitely surprised me. I was a little bit, again, hoping and kind of looking for my summer warmer that will have around the campfire in it on my mantle. And for that particular wax experience that I'm trying to create, I do tend to like a warmer that is getting between like 130 to 140 at max. And this one definitely exceeds that. Even though it takes a while to get there, it performed very closely to the results of the clover warmer that I shared on Sunday. Now this, even though it outperforms the temperature that I was kind of targeting, I do think that this means that this could work great in lots of rooms, bedrooms, bathrooms, and I think it could stand on its own even without a strong wax melt like I have going in here today. So that is exciting for this warmer to me. I think it's going to be more versatile than I originally expected, and as a 9-watt performer, it is top tier, in my opinion, among its peers. I am a person who tends to prefer 10 watts and up in element warmers just because I find them to perform more consistently. But for me, with this particular warmer, it's doing a great job. So I'm really excited about it. And I do think I may still place it on my mantle and see if I can negotiate maybe with dialing back the around the campfire or using a half cube instead of a whole cube. We'll see how it goes. But I love this little warmer, and I'm going to be joining you back live in just a few minutes because right at about 25 minutes, 45 seconds is where this wax cube landed. All right, guys, I am back. I will pop the timer results up for you to see, but it looks like to me that this was right at around 25 minutes to get this beautiful clear wax pool. Wow, let me double check before I show you this. Wow. So this is a strong fragrance, and it is performing really well, but this is also a warmer that has gotten to an average of 165, and the low temperature there is listed at 160 and right at about 25 minutes, I think. So that is a great performer. Just got to double check. Yeah. Wow. So that is a really great temperature. I think this is going to be a much more versatile warmer than I originally thought. I can't wait to hear your thoughts on this warmer in the comments below. And if you enjoy watching wax melt with me, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so that we can stay in touch and pay way too much attention to wax warmers and wax melts and all the other things. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me. I can't wait to hear your thoughts on the warmer below.